Hey everyone, Coach Twig here. Today we're looking at some gold gameplay, I believe upper gold gameplay. This player said that they used to be plat 2 but is now stuck in gold. Um, so we're gonna, take a look and see, if there's anything that they can improve on here. Um, Sorry for the little bit of low quality. This was the quality of the video that was sent. So I think he just runs it at low resolution, probably to get a few more frames out of his game, which is a perfectly fine thing to see if you can actually see everything on screen. So okay choice by them. All right. So first thing here is you bump your teammate, and that's okay. That's fine. Don't worry about it. However, now when you look at this ball, you see that he's a lot closer to it, right? So you need to let him go for the ball, and since he's in a better position, with bumping him, it's fine. But it's if you make a little mistake like that, it's always how you recover and your decisions after it that make up for that issue. So you come here and double commit on him. Now this ball's in a pretty dangerous position for them to follow up on. Fortunately, they get it away. Or you guys are able to put it away. Here with this wall dribble though, I two things. Unfortunately, you miss this corner boost, so now you're only with a 31 boost, which is kind of unfortunate, but you can still get the ball moving downfield here. I see what you were going for. Unfortunately, you drive up the wall here and you turn into it a little bit too soon, which means that you're going to be hitting the ball on the underside here, which will have it scoop up and hit off of the ceiling, right? Which isn't really good since we can see the two opponents down here lying and waiting, right? So when practicing these, you definitely want to try to hit it more off of this side. So just make sure to try to read the ball as it's going up, wait, and then turn into it, so then you can send it down the sideline, right? So it's a little unfortunate that you messed that up, but if you saw you have your teammate behind you still, right? You don't see your teammate downfield at all, and you're sitting here with only 10 boost, which isn't really great, right? This is not a terribly difficult, or dangerous shot right now, and your teammate's set up. So you can do like one of two things: is you either rush this ball right here, right, and get in his face and make him mess up, and then allow your teammate to then follow up after that, or you do, so that's one option, or you come back quickly to the corner boost that you had missed, that is there, right? Top yourself off at 100, and then you loop back towards, turn back around towards goal. So then when your teammate, had gone up for it, you can then be behind him and continue that defensive rotation. So I'd say you do one of those two things and you're good. Unfortunately here, you kind of back up a little bit and might be like getting in your teammate's face. Fortunately, you don't mess him up. You kind of relax there at the last minute and let him go for it, which is good. But, so this is really where the issues start to arise with that decision, right? So they took the shot and your teammate got the save, but since you didn't go back and get boost, you then had 10 boost for this aerial, right? And so as this opponent pops it up, you aren't really able to contest this very well. If you had another 12 boost, 24 boost, you would have been able to get this easy, no problem. But unfortunately, you don't have the boost and you throw yourself up for it. So now you're falling with 0 boost. Fortunately, the shot was either wide and your teammate kind of hit it over a little bit, but that could have been very dangerous. So fortunately, you're able here, very smart here, getting the 2 pennies and then coming back around for your teammate, or behind your teammate, letting him go. So smart play in that, waiting for all this to go. And so now at this point, you see that your teammate is kind of winning out, and it gets batted away. With this one, you can kind of see there's a little hesitation there that you do. You kind of move back and forth a little bit. Whenever I'm like, not quite sure of how a ball's going to go, I always try to go back to goal as far back as I can, right? And get ready, set up, and goal for how the play plays out, right? Because you kind of rush going up for that. It was kind of a weird bounce in the corner, but just try to wait a little bit for a better opportunity to go out and actually save it. All right, this is a pretty important one here. So you were doing pretty well with getting out of your teammate's way, but here we see both the opponent and your teammate in the corner with the ball, right? So at this point, even though you're low boost and getting boost would probably be a good thing, you don't really want to double up with your teammate here in the corner, because he actually recovers well off the wall here, and he is now set up really well to get this boost and clear this ball, right? So you coming in here kind of just messes him up with that. He could have gone into a dribble. He could have done, a whole bunch of other things. That unfortunately messes him up. And again, you can have mistakes, but when that happens, you gotta, recover and make better decisions afterwards. So with that, now you continued front flipping with him at 0 boost. So now you're right next to him with no boost. So there's nothing really that you're helping out with this play. If he sets up a great pass for this, you're not going to be set up or able to help out with it. If it gets intercepted or grabbed by the enemy, you're not going to be able to turn around defensively really quickly. So this is just a very bad situation all around for you to be in. So your teammate continues down with the ball, and they get this terrible stop, and both of the opponents are now flying away from the ball with the ball just stuck right here in the center, right? So from before, if you hadn't followed your teammate into the corner and bumped him and be sitting with 0 boost, you could be sitting here in mid with a little bit of boost, and then you would have actually been able to come in and just score that ball really easily if you had done that instead of being on top of your teammate with 0 boost, right? So you come back around, see it's a prime open net, but of course your teammate isn't able to complete it there, and now we're just kind of floundering around midfield here, not really doing a whole lot. Unfortunately missed that wall hit. That's fine though. Right, I like this right here, or well, rather I don't like this. So we're here, we have our teammate in the corner, right? And we see that the ball's here with the opponent in the corner after it, right? So with this, the opponent, they could, hit the ball out and stuff, but they're not really gonna score from back here, right? And what we want to do is when they hit the ball, we want to be able to put pressure on that and continue this offensive play. So the issue with this position right here is that you're really only influencing, we're only really influencing this area of the map, right? So this is really your area of influence over here. So when the ball comes across the net, you're not there to follow up on it, right? So instead of being positioned here, you should be positioned more in midfield over here, right? Now, the thing is that I'll see and I have got stuck with myself is this isn't a terrible spot for threes rotation, right? Because having one person in the corner on the ball, right? And then you have the second person that's mid here ready for the pass, and then having the third person here to, continue to play if the ball does come down the sideline here. That's fine. I'm fine with that in threes rotations. However, this is twos, so you can't be positioned all the way back here, because if a great pass comes along, you're not going to be able to capitalize on it. And your team currently has no presence on, this side of the field over here. So you do start to creep up, right? And here comes the pass out, and there's the miss, right? And if that pass had come out and you were already sitting here, you would be able to actually come in and get a much better shot on it and probably actually score, because you come flying in here and actually, hit it. But it was at the same time as the opponent, so no goal. All right. There we go. I like here, you can see, I really don't think you should be burning boost for this, right? The opponents are very far away, right? Your teammates here. So you start burning boost here for a second, but then you realize that you shouldn't be going for that since your teammate is already going for it. So you give them some space to work the ball a little bit, which is nice. Good job reacting to the opponents. Now, this is where working with your teammate can be very difficult, because your teammate being right here, going towards into the ball is very weird, right? I kind of disagree with what he's doing, but what we need to do as players is react to it, right? So if he's doing that weird stuff in the corner, just let him do the weird stuff, sit back in goal, just take a breather, right? And I say this especially because he decides to come here, grab side boost, and then he's going to come in yet again for whatever weird, crazy play he's trying to pull, right? So as you see him do this, right, and he's clearly going to still be with the ball, just sit back in goal, just tuck yourself away here real quick so then he can come flying on by with whatever he's doing, because we have no idea what's going on in this guy's head. Fortunately, you don't own goal there, which is great. Just let him do his own thing. Right. So this is another with the positioning. Now you're too far up. So the ball's coming in here in the corner, right? And it's going to bounce out. So the thing is, you have your teammate and you right here, which is not really good because, again, the only area that you're influencing in the field is this section right here. So being set up behind your teammate or out mid is where you want to be, right? You don't want to be with your teammate. And if we back it up here a little bit, we can see, your teammate's still front flipping towards this. Maybe this should have been your ball. Maybe it shouldn't have. It doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, when it comes to here and you see your teammate out in front, that's when you instantly turn somewhere other than where your teammate is, to cover more of the field. What I would possibly do is, since you're at 31 boost and there's that, side boost right there, what I would have done in this situation after I saw my teammate here is I would have turned quickly to the side boost and then turned around to midfield, right? And at that point, being set up in this midfield area here with 100 boost and your teammate putting pressure on it in the corner here, that's what you want to do. That's how you set up offensive plays. So fortunately, your teammate comes in here and scores, right? Great, excellent little goal by him. Um, but let's say that this little defender here had gotten a little bit of it, right? Let's say it could have hit off against the backboard and come out, right? At that point, if the ball is here, right, and this defender had just gone for it, and this guy's flying back in and stuff, if you had gotten that 100 boost turned around, you would have been back here and you would have been up able to score it, right? But if that play happened, right, and you're here, well, if the ball's here, that's a pretty tricky shot from where you're at right now with only 36 boost, right? And then let's say that you do kind of mess it up and that this defender that's here actually goes up and gets it. Now you're in a terrible position because your teammate is just flew into their goal and then you're going to go get scored on. So giving your teammate space and setting up mid with a decent amount of boost is what you want to be doing. All right, now we have the other end of the coin, or the other side of the coin where you were set up previously. You were set up way too far back in the corner. Now you're set up way too far forward, next to your teammate, right? This isn't super helpful, because this guy can just pop it up and around and get it past you guys. And at that point, you guys are both going to be scrambling back on defense. So this position isn't really good. I would say, hey, bud. Yes. Sorry, cat. My cat just wanted to say hi to everyone. So, with this position, we don't want to exactly be here. We want to be more in this back mid position, right? So then we can cover more area of the field, right? So that pops up. If you were back mid, you might be able to go for this aerial, but since you and your teammate are both under it, not really great to go up for. Yep, you just kind of flip back and reset on defense for those, right? This is kind of the start, though, of your teammate being a little bit toxic, which you just ignore that. This right here is hilarious. You guys, it gets over you guys. I don't really agree with trying to jump up here. I would have scrambled back quicker, but, it's fine, whatever. So your teammate here hits it off of the wall and then starts to say, go for it, go for it, go for it, because maybe he saw the little bit of an open net, but, I mean, he's off of his rocker. That would be an insane thing to go for. You get a pretty good shot around this guy. Unfortunately, it's a little bit wide. Hits off against the post. Tap it again. Unfortunately, hits off the post yet again. That's fine, right? Two close shots, but you just kind of need to brush that off. What you need to do is you need to look at the situation at hand right now, right? So we know that our teammate is behind us, right? He's probably been able to get a few boosts and turn around since you going for the ball, and he'll hopefully be coming up. You are also at 12 boost and sitting here in the corner, right? So after doing that play, instead of turning around like you do, I would have gone and stolen the enemy corner boost and then started to rotate back around to mid, right? Because we can reasonably expect our teammate to come in here and continue this play, especially with this, since that's a pretty good little setup for them. So here we go. We come in, and so you here last a little bit of boost doing going for the most insane angled play ever on that hit. I mean that's a difficult. This is a difficult shot to make. The scrambling back, floating aerial tap on the corner to float it into the back of the net. That's a tough one, especially to do with only 12 boost. So you stop that, and your teammate comes in. So at this point, you're kind of just flipping around midfield here with no boost, and I don't really think any sort of a purpose, right? It's again, you get to this point here and be like, all right, that's a good setup for my teammate. I'm low boost. I need to either get pennies and rotate around, or get this corner boost quickly and steal it from the opponent, and then rotate back up to middle after my teammate has gone for it, right? So not really doing anything. Your teammate comes in and gets it. Still don't know exactly what you're doing here. All right, we're going back for corner boost. Corner boost, going all the way back for corner boost isn't always the best idea. It's a perfectly fine idea to go for it when you know that a play is going to turn into a defensive play, right? If we knew that they were getting possession, right, and they were going to start moving downfield, they're not like, running way downfield on a breakaway, getting back corner boost is, I think, fine. The issue here is that we see your teammate hit it here, right? So he hits it here, and it's going to go off into their corner, right? And hopefully your teammate will also pursue and keep pressure on the ball as you take a little bit of a reset, right? What you should be doing is, instead of resetting all the way back to the corner, you should either be getting pennies around midfield or even getting that side boost, right? So you come flying all the way back here, where you could have easily instead have just gone to the side boost that's right here, right? And getting that side boost would put you a lot closer to the play. He could have back passed. You could be contesting this right now, right? You fortunately come in here and get a good challenge. Good job. Nice little tap in the corner to grab around the boost, right? And you just saw both of the opponents mess up. They went for a double commit and didn't hit it. So now you have an open net on actually a pretty, this is actually a deceptively hard shot. So you unfortunately miss it, but that's fine. Of course, we have the most level-headed and nicest teammate in the world hitting us with the double wow in chat. That's fine. You don't worry about that. The issue is then you proceed to not quite get this corner boost from this opponent. Again, that's fine. You have 44 boost, which is plenty, right? And we come back here to see this. Both opponents sitting here with the ball above you, and then most importantly is your teammate sitting back here, right? So this ball coming down, this is clearly your teammates to either go up for, or more smartly is wait for it to come down and react to however these opponents want to strike it, and then he reacts to that. At that time, when all that is happening, you need to be getting back on defense, right? You should not go for this ball, right? You don't have the boost for it. You're now flinging yourself with 0 boost up at this ball, which, you could have maybe hit it to corner it into your corner, but I just don't like you going up for that. So now you have 0 boost. You confused your teammate, and they pop it around him, which is fine. Fortunately, you bring it back here with getting the corner boost and then popping it up, which actually puts you in a great position. Someone that is really good at their aerials could hit this shot, and at a minimum, continue the ball, continue, an offensive play. So I see with this one here, though, that you do speed aerial, right? So speed aerials is really good, and it's a really good sign that you are actually doing speed aerials. The only issue is with this one, this is a little bit of a special case where the ball is right above your head. So as you boost for the speed aerial, you are moving forward, right? So let me show you here real quick, right? If we have, let's say that we have your car here, right? And so when you jump up, right, your car is still oriented forwards, right? Now, of course, you stick back to raise your nose up, right? So then you are then angled upwards, and then you boost to go that direction, right? So when you start boosting right after you jump or right as you jump, you are going forward more. You're going horizontally forward more. The thing is, with this ball, since it's so high over your head, you don't want to move horizontally forward anymore. You want to be going straight up. So instead of boosting immediately, you should be turning your nose up immediately to get to that angle, so then you can boost all the way up to that ball. So when you do that, and you boost forward, it puts you too far ahead of the ball, right? See, you can see that a little bit of forward momentum from the start of the boost put you too far forward, right? And halfway through the air here, what I would also do is, boosting and then nosing up, and then about right here, you double jump to move yourself back a little bit. Because just like with, when you double jump, if your car is flat, the double jump just moves you up, right? When you have your car angled and you're boosting up like that, when you do a double jump, it will move your car up, which, up from your car's orientation. So it will actually move you back a little bit when you're doing that. So you can do that to recorrect on aerials as well. But that's a tough aerial to go for. I mean, you even hitting it here is great. So I appreciate you going for speed aerials, actually going for those big aerials. That was a great setup. Unfortunately, it popped up a little bit too high. But go for those. Keep on going for those, and you'll eventually start hitting them and getting them in the back of the net. All right, here's one last little thing I think with boost management was, okay, so you land here, right? We're at 39 boost, right? And he pinches this, right? And this goes flying over. There's no way you can actually get to this and score it, right? So the issue is that you're burning boost to this. We're already down to 17 boost, right? And for this hit, we're still going to be waiting for it to come down here, bounce off the corner, and have it do whatever it's going to do, right? So if we're going to wait for that, don't burn the boost that we need for the next play that's coming up, right? Fortunately, we're able to get this 100 boost, and this is where, yet again, is we want to look for our teammate. Should he be flying in here, hitting this ball? Probably not. But, if he's going to, we want to play around that. So as you see your teammate flying in here, what you're going to want to do is just grab this corner boost and turn around, right? Top yourself off and wait for how your teammate hits this, right? And it really kind of sucks to be reacting to your teammate so much, but what you want to do is you want to try to fill in the blanks with him, right? So he actually contested that and popped it up. So if we did do, we grab the corner boost right here and we turn around, we could actually have, been sitting on the ground here and flown up for that one to try to continue, maybe put it off the backboard, have the teammate turn around here and, go for goal attempt. But, double committing, it just sends us flying. Our teammate's underneath it. He's not going to stick with it, right? But you want to react to how your teammate's going for the ball, right? And this here, we're just way too far back now from the play, right? For a second there, it was maybe looking like it was going to be a dangerous play, right? Your teammate's getting knocked around, right? The fortunate thing is this opponent in goal was sitting really far back as well in goal and was very hesitant to come out, right? And your teammate recovered and actually got it around him. At that point, you want to make sure that you're turning around and keeping that offensive pressure with him, right? So he's still keeping him at bay with a 2v1, right? And yet again, you really like to hug this side. I don't really like it too much. You should again be sitting mid, and with the mid position, of course, if the ball comes in front, you're going to be able to score it, right? If the ball, here, I'll do some different colors here for us. If the ball goes across, right, like it goes way too far, you're going to be able to turn around and react to that quickly, right? If the ball comes down this sideline here, right, if they scoot it out, you're going to be able to turn and react here, right? Sitting in the middle here gives you all of those options, right? So if we're sitting here, right, all we can really do is contest that, right? If the ball goes to the middle, well, we need to fly in from a mile away, right? If the ball goes over and wide, we need to completely reposition to the other side of the field. So that's the issue with sitting on this side, right? In addition, if let's just say that the ball comes, screaming towards our net, right, in a very dangerous situation, we won't really be able to, we won't be as close to it than if we were in the middle. Maybe for some shots and stuff, it would be better to try to save it from this side, but by and large, sitting here to have more of a threat on net is going to be a lot better, pretty much 95% of the time. And then lastly, again, in a threes rotation, this is fine. Having one person there, another person at mid, and then a third person back on this side, I'm perfectly fine with that setup. But again, that's threes, where you'd be having someone in mid here to receive a pass to actually score, right? All right, so we actually, funny enough, have the moment of, or the situation that arose of the ball just flying out from the corner. What I would recommend with you for this one is, as you're flying back, try to be on the inside of the ball, right? What you want to be doing to have a really safe defensive play is you want to be hitting the inside of the ball, so then it is going out and to your corner, right? Cornering the ball and putting the ball in the corner will stop an offensive play and at least give you and your teammate time to breathe and set up, and slow down an offensive play so then you can better react to it, right? So to hit it on that side, I would recommend, instead of being on, this side of the ball, right, you want to be over on the right side of the ball. So I would recommend driving back and over to the right, so then you could hit the ball on that side, so then it goes into the corner, right? What you go with here is a very dangerous, risky play, which I don't really think there was too much probability of success happening since both of your opponents were set up pretty well behind you. You go for this big commitment backflip, right? So if you get this touch here, this is a pretty bad touch, and now it's going to be, sitting here in the middle, right? Right behind this ball is an opponent, which frankly should have scored this ball. They went around it, fortunately. But with that backflip, that entire time that you're doing that backflip, you're really kind of unable to move, right? So if you hadn't done the backflip and just had it tap off of your car here, you would be able to turn around and re-attack this quickly. With the backflip, though, you're committed all to that, and you're able to move right as this opponent would pop a shot over you, but he fortunately missed. So very, very fortunate for you with that one. And then your little tap over the guy into getting demoed, and then your teammate hitting it off the wall sets you up for this perfect shot, perfect pass, right? This is great. This is the situation that you want. This is by no means a free goal, but this is probably one of the better shooting opportunities that you have for the game, right? The issue that I see with you doing this here is that you get like really excited that there is an open ball and a great pass for you, and you just full on rocket into it, right? For this, I want you to, a very important skill is looking where your opponents are and realizing, hey, bud, cat again, what do you want? Silly, you want coaching too? Yeah, okay. What you want to do is you want to look at where your opponents are, right? Noticing where your opponents are and how they're pressuring you can really open up what you can and can't do, right? If there's an opponent right on you or that's going to come contesting the ball really quickly, well, you got to do something pretty quickly, right? If there isn't an opponent coming for a ball, right, and they're a mile out, you can take your time, right? So this pass comes out, and you full on rocket into it and miss, right? And then, of course, we have our teammate here being toxic, which isn't great, but, that's fine. That's not a 100% guaranteed free shot, but what we have is, we saw one opponent. They are, they went past us, right? So they're a little bit out of the play. And then when this ball comes out, we want to be looking towards that other defender that's back there, right? We can see that he's just sitting for corner boost, basically saying to us, hey, just score on me. I'm bad at the game, right? So with that, we want to take our time for this, right? Not just rocket and roll into the shot. So to actually make this shot, though, what you want to do is you want to line up the goal, the ball, and your car, right? So having this goal, the ball, and your car all lined up in a straight line is how you're going to score, right? So what I like to do for these shots as they're coming in from the side here is kind of just wait a little bit for this ball to roll in this path, right? So we're looking good here, right? And at the last second here, we saw you turn a bit, right? So the path that you were taking, right, where your car was here, right, and the goal was here and the ball was here, you were looking pretty good for a second there, right? But then you turned, so then the line is off, and as you now hit into this ball, it's going to go over this way, right? So let's take a look at that just one more time, right? Wait for these three to line up and then turn into it, right? And you turn out a little wide, changing that line. If you had just kept it straight, you'd probably be good. Just wait for that ball to line up. What I would recommend is practicing hook shots. where learning how to do a hook shot is pretty much just lining up those things and turning into the ball is one of the big mechanics of it. So I will have a link to a video of how to do hook shots in the description of this video. So go watch that and practice that, and that will be your homework. All right, yeah. So again, don't listen to your teammate here. It's fine. He's been doing some pretty wow-worthy stuff, and then you come out here and pull this excellent shot out here right around this guy. This was a great reaction. Your teammate, your teammate hits you with these wows, and then he does this bonehead pass to the opponents, right? That's a terrible hit because you're coming back and both the opponents are sitting here waiting for him. Fortunately, you turn in and react quickly enough and actually put up a shot. So, I mean, great shot there. Have one or two other little notes here for the remainder of the game. Once your teammate goes out and hits that, just like before, we need to be moving up with your teammate, right? So sitting back here in goal is fine, right? I'd say maybe since you're only at 12 boost, maybe try to look for some of these pennies to just get a little bit more boost. On defense, I really like having 24 boost because 12 boost in my mind isn't really, you can't really do anything with, right? Getting 2 pennies to get 24 boost is about the amount that you need to save just about any shot that comes in towards net, right? So try to grab a little penny here, right? This one isn't quite there right now, but when that respawns, you grab that. But we see our teammate going for the side here, right? He's gonna hit it, and you see it going past this other guy, right? At that point, you want to get up as quickly as possible. So that means front flipping towards that corner boost, right? You're not front flipping at all, right? And then once you get it, you don't want to burn boost. You want a front flip, right? So do a front flip or 2, right? Instead of burning the boost. But fortunately, you come in here in time. It would have been, better if you were more mid, but, it's fine kind of how that defensive play at the beginning formed. And then you score it. Excellent shot. Perfect. Perfectly good shot there to finish off the game. And that was pretty good. So with that, I can see that you have some great, aerial skills right now. So keep on working on that. Keep that focused. Practice some of those hook shots and, taking time on offense whenever the opportunity is presented to you. And kind of the takeaways of this is you want to be watching your teammate and working with them. And that mostly means giving them space to allow them to do their stuff, and also being positioned not right on top of them, but close by so you can take advantage of opportunities that they cause. Namely, staying mid on offense. I just don't like that side spot because, that can be nice for when the ball comes down the sideline, but you can react quickly enough when you're positioned mid to those shots. And then also, if you're mid, you're able to actually score. But I think you're just maybe in a little bit of a rut, and you'll be back to plateau in no time. So, bye.